Hey guys, how is everyone tonight? Doing good, I hope. All right, it's 8 o'clock. Let's get this show on the road. What do you say, guys? Thought he died. Maybe not. So if I recall correctly, this guy is on a cavern level we don't have access to, so he's out of our way and we don't care about him for now. We're good. Okay, so unless he's got an access to Cavern 1, he ain't going to bother us. We were in the process of getting a proper entrance dug, and we hit stone, but hadn't gotten any further, really. Okay. And we'll have to be careful when we dig out this next level, because if we don't, we'll get cave-ins over this tunnel where they'll excavate and cut stuff off and it'll fall in and cave in and kill people. So I'll have to be careful with that. I'll have to be extra careful on how we designate that removal. Okay, so ramp up, need to get our traps, need to get the bridges built. Okay. And while I was at it, I went ahead and disabled the whistling cancellation noises, so no more of that stuff, we're good. Gonna leave that disabled for future forts. It's kind of peaceful without it. It's kind of nice. I have to remember to check on my cancellations periodically to make sure that we're not running out of things that we could easily be replacing. So, for example, the bags we could be replacing with silk bags because we know we've got access to the cave silk en masse at this point. Mill plants, same thing, need bag. We ran out of bags here, which is why this guy failed his job, because he lost his bag and couldn't get another one. 2 injured, 2 injured, 2 injured. Is it all the same guy? Yeah, it's all the same guy. We already know about that. He can't store his shit because he can't carry his shit. He can barely walk. I mean, realistically, we could probably exile him or something, right? But, you know, I'm not necessarily going to do that.
Sorry, I can't do it, sir.
He fought for us. He was actually the best hammerman before he went down. Seems awful shame to kick him out now. We can still, let's see what industries we don't have. Let's see, what are we missing? Ashery, dyer, soap. Don't need that because we have magma forges. We could use one of those, but I have somewhere else in mind. Millstones we replaced with querns because I'm not going to bother with the power. Okay, so just the stuff right here because we're not going to have a fishery unless we open ourselves up to the caves. Which we may do later on. We'll see about putting up a fisher later on, see if we can catch some cave fish. Cave lobster is back on the menu, perhaps. Let's see. I don't know if we can get those because we may not have the materials. That's nice. Okay. Guess we can do two, so we can have not just symmetry, but the ability to do a little higher throughput while we're building up our soap supply here, I suppose. And why not the masterwork one while we're at it? And I don't want to do it out of ice, so we're going to close that back down. Hang on. There we go. We'll do a little nice. In order to do that, we need to reserve some barrels for jobs. Make sure that we are making, what the hell does it call it? Large food storage. That's nice. We didn't do that. That's something we should correct immediately. Oh, no, we've got them. Okay, good. Could have swore I made rock pots. Couldn't believe that we would be this late in the game and not have them. Probably need to unsuspend that so we can actually close the caverns in the event of emergency.
Did you see what I did with this? I'm gonna
When I'm
use
holding this, I feel unstoppable.
Now, it's been an age since I used them, but there it is. Okay, so our copper traps aren't ready yet. Where in the fuck is he going? Wow, are our auto web jobs going all the way up there? Because that's closer? Whew. Really don't want to limit them to a burrow. At the same time, I don't want them roaming the caverns openly either. Nope. You entertainers can just sit there and do your thing. Want to capture the cave spiders, get my traps done. Looks like we're still on the jobs before that. Are we getting cancellations for out of copper? Don't see any. Can't make parchments, can't tan hides, can't mill. Need bags. Oh, it's our supply of silk looking like. Lots of giant, plenty of the other. Okay. That ought to take care of that problem. It's our really injured guy just not getting to the... Well, I guess our library can handle him at least. Okay, so he can't do the manager job either. All right, fine. Sure, why not? He can do both jobs. And we've run out of copper nuggets, so that means we've got to go looking for some more. And as I recall... we can get copper where we were digging those pilot holes earlier.
can't do it, sir.
All right. He's going to party. We got work orders to approve. Seriously. Back to work. Go.
Sir, I hate saying no to you, but no.
Can't produce bags fast enough is my guess. Yep, all of them. No Masterworks in the lot, so we can melt them all. We'll start with 200 of them, and if we reformed all the copper we had without even mining anymore, we'd end up with more than 200 the next time. What, are they leaving? Oh, we must have traded with them last time. They do have a lot of mugs, don't they?
It won't work. won't do it.
Now we're down to just Mr. I can't do anything because I've been beaten to a pulp, and more bags. Okay. So he is approving my job orders. That's good. He's the mayor, though. Our mayor can't even dress himself properly. This is going to be a real problem long term. And the Yeti gets hammered.
Yes, I'll do it, but no, I
We
don't.
pull the dog off the Yeti. He's having a bad day. Now, what I'd really like to know is we've got all these war dogs. Why is it when a single Yeti comes across the bridge, there's not 20 dogs on him immediately? He enters the pasture, one dog attacks him, maybe two if they bumble into him. Realistically, if these are war dogs, they're trained to attack things that come in that aren't designated as friendly, you know, the merchants and what all, then shouldn't there be an entire dog swarm on the Yeti? Realistically, walking into a swarm of dogs ought to be relatively dangerous for anybody who's not wearing heavy armor. You're going to get dragged down. They're going to grab your limbs and pull them. And even if they don't all pull in the same direction necessarily, they're going to pull your leg somewhere you don't want it to go, or your arm somewhere you don't want it to go. It straight up attacked the dwarven merchants. And the guards are nowhere to be seen. This is why the merchants are... You check this out. They're... I'm going to have to save them. Camel's like fleeing and shit. No, I'm out of here. This is too horrible. Well, they all passed out from exertion. My military's going to like walk over and club the Yeti to death. They're fighting in a snowstorm. The blood is disappearing as fast as it lands. That's awesome. And apparently the merchants managed to lose some things here. Let's see. Yeti parts. Worn out glove. I'm not even sure what that's doing up here. Apparently I told them to melt theirs and somebody snagged it out of the wagon. That's fantastic. We confiscated it after they were almost out of the map. They took too long. They were delayed by the Yeti just long enough for us to steal the giant axe blade back. Come on, we gotta help the scrawny scholar get in the doors.
Host.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. Oh, no, wait, it never really left. It's kind of been delivering itself to our front door for a while now, hasn't it? Let's see, I want this category right here, small live animals, to say cave spider. Not nearly enough to supply our guys. Realistically, long term, you need to hatch every floor on the way down if you do a central spire like this to prevent dwarves from falling or animals from falling from the top to the very bottom if they pass out at the wrong place. Remember, if your fortress is 40 stories high, that's a 40-story drop down that staircase. It's a long way down. Forgot to make loincloths while I was at it. That was the whole point of making them there, or making them available, right? Likewise, we need to make chouse.
No.
Sorry, guys, I get a cat attack. Yeah, that first dodge down the steps is a doozy. Yes, yes it is. Okay, now that looks a lot like Cavern Layer 1 to me. That's bad. The bridge is done, but of course not linked to anything, so this is going to be a fight.
can't do that there. No, I can't do it.
Sooner or later, he's going to navigate himself over here. I forgot I activated him after I... There he is. We'll go after the dogs first. That's the whole point of them being there, is to give the military a little time to muster in cases like this. Oh, somebody found a bow. Found quiver and bolts and... All right. Lost one archer, who was probably trying to melee at the time, I'm betting. Okay. Zero those guys out. Zero the turkeys out. And I'm doing this not because they couldn't be useful, but because I'm trying to keep animals to very controlled groups. Eventually we may want to have sheep, but for now, nah, if it's not something we brought with us, it's getting butchered if possible. And we need to get nest boxes soon. Just waiting on them to get done, unfortunately. Now, since I have egg collection turned on, we have to make sure we forbid the eggs as they're laid to force them to be hatched. That way we can grow our population of blue peahens before we run out. Birds, unfortunately, do not live particularly long lives. All right, get some more furniture built, get all these bedrooms done, and we might be somewhere. Mr. Amma Stark raving mad. That's who was. Right. Got that guy. That's who was going nuts earlier. Probably should take the military off alert. Probably.
No.
Okay, so they are trading into barracks, at least sometimes. Okay, good. They need to check their schedule. No, it's set correctly. Ah, probably helps if I give them a barracks. Which would explain why no one is practicing with their spears. There we go. Now there's more people practicing in the barracks like there should be. All right, we gotta replace him. Doesn't matter what I set him to, he's not going to be doing anything. Need to replace an archer, an axeman. Okay. The only guy with any military skill is Mace Dwarf, so it really doesn't matter who we pick. Okay, and now our military is staffed again, and I can see over here where our pit trap is being dug. That's good, good, good.
No, 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 no. No!
Let's check on how many miners we have. That's a good number. Okay. See, the party in the tavern is lively as usual. Alright, now they're doing punching one another. Did we not get our spears made? Must not have made any copper weapons. That was dumb. Good job. Good job. And if we end up with extras, well, we can sell them or use them for something else. Probably shouldn't do wood bolts. We don't really have a ready source of wood out here on a glacier. For new players who think a glacier sounds like an excellent thing, and if you've not played them before, I recommend trying them the first time with some taiga or tundra nearby so that you can have access to wood. It helps you get over that early hump. If you find yourself in need, you can always go out there and harvest a little that way.
Yes, I'll do it, but no, it won't work.
Okay. Need more tetrahedrite if we have any. Can't make milk of lime, as I recall, because we can't make quick lime because we need bag. And that's because we're steadily grinding through the manufacturing of clothing. I think I'm going to have to expand our clothing manufacturing. We're just not producing it fast enough. Hey, I'm Barry. Welcome to the stream. Dig faster, my little minions. Okay, just checking to make sure that was the last Yeti. Realistically, we've already completed most of the goals I had for the playthrough. It's just to demonstrate getting in, getting set up, getting a stable fort. I'm a little slow to it, so we had a couple dwarves who got unhappy before I was quite finished. But, I mean, at this point, you're down to where you're building a fancy custom entrance to make sure you can grind up your enemies efficiently. We could theoretically just button up our door and wait for a siege to go away. We don't have iron, so we'd have to harvest goblinite for iron if we want to. Or, well, I think there's magnetite further down. I haven't found it yet, I don't think. I didn't get a chance to demonstrate steel production last time, I don't think. I'd kind of like to do that. Maybe get an obsidian caster up and running so I can show that off. I don't have any really solid goals. Mostly this is I'm doing this for charity, so my goal is down there at the bottom. I'm trying to raise money for sick children. Okay, that's our water levers. Okay, so we still need to link both of these up.
Winter is at hand.
We'll have to see. Got 30 days of this. I'm not going to be using the same fortress the entire time. Last fortress we had to kind of abandon because it kept crashing on us.
Oh, the dwarf has been possessed by an unknown force. Oh, I won't do it. The dwarf has claimed a workshop.
Goblins, which we are totally not ready for.
I can't do that there.
Okay, so let's close the door and see what we get here first. Looks like about 2 squads.
No.
Just a raid. Not worth the name of siege, if that's all it is. But they've got crossbowmen and bowmen, so we can't approach them over open ground or we'll get the shit punctured out of us. So we'll invite them in close and then see if we can't drop the bridge and get to them, I guess. I'm not sure exactly how else to deal with them at the moment. We could theoretically, dig out to them. Oh good, the crazy guy finally died. Plenty of coffins. I'm hoping we can get them to climb, because I don't think there's a way for them to climb in. I'd like to get them to try. Or have a Yeti show up. That'd be fun too.
I can't do that there.
Oh, let's not engage them yet. Back to what you're doing, guys. I got a better idea. The dogs, you see, have done growed up. And they are ready to be war trained, which we can then use against the two squads if they hang around for a moment.
No, 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 no. No!
So our guys should come up here and start war training these extra dogs. Having 40 of these guys to throw at the goblins alongside our squad would be nice. If there were... I don't think you can view the skills of enemy troops. I don't think it lets you. If it does, then I don't think any of these guys are master marksmen. We could do something else. I don't think any of our dwarves in the bolt squad have sufficient... Yeah, see, we're still way partial on these guys. Yeah, that's what I figured. They're way fragmented on their stuff. Okay. Even with partial matches, we're basically running around with a bunch of half armored ragtag squads. We just don't have enough throughput down here at the moment. What the hell are all our smiths doing? There. Now somebody will be available to do labor. Yeah, no, you can claim it, but nah, it's going in the archive, kids. Okay, sorry, I picked the wrong one off the first start, so something's going to get shuffled to a different pedestal.
No, I can't do it.
So, I mean, what do you want to see? We're here on the glacier. What do you guys want to see? Oops, nope, not doing that. Okay, so this is kind of the lazy man's way to make sure that they don't cave in on themselves. By doing it in this fashion, every tile they remove currently will have support at all times. So there's no way they're going to drop a tile at some point and kill somebody. Because the area I'm excavating cuts into not just the tunnels, but also into the walls, there will be ramps allowing them to get access back up here without a problem. Even if the staircase gets cut off, no problem. All that clanking is our sparring dwarves in the barracks, which is good. Our miners are coming along en masse now. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. On the level below, this is going to be in the wall. But none of these will cave in because they have connections on the left and the right at all times. When we're done, we'll come back and we'll remove these one row at a time as we move up. Then we just make sure we don't delete the staircase and we're golden. Think we'll get one ramp right there, but that's not going to work for us in this one case. There's a cutoff here. So we're going to have to get creative. So we'll cut a channel into the wall, one level for here, allowing our dwarves to climb up on one of these rows and go around the outside as necessary, because we would actually lose access to some of these vertical rows if we started at the bottom or the top in this case, because some of them would get cut off when we got up here and some would get cut off when we got down here. For example, if we went top to bottom on this one, at some point we would lose all the ramps and we would not be able to get the last tile. By channeling around the wall like this, if you imagine a vertical pit with like a ring at one level, that's basically what we've got here. Theoretically, we could just expand it and have it dig down further from that point on, but this will work.
No.
And don't sweat these minerals. We're going to come back and pick up all these veins eventually at some point.
No. I said no.
And once they finish up all of these, we'll just start at the bottom and work our way up the center, leaving the outer ring for access. In theory, we could go back and fill it in, starting over here, say, and accessing it from the fort, and just fill in one square at a time until we were all the way back around and the wall was sealed up. That's doable. Ha! They're getting to fight the Yeti now, too. That's awesome. Defend us, Yeti! Don't run away, you big chicken shit. Look at this. He doesn't even run away from us. He fights. Wow, they let him go. How sad. And this is a little annoying in the way that we're going to have to do this, but it will prevent any cave-ins from killing dwarves. Gonna have to go back and get this last row. We totally missed it. That'll work.
Ugh, I won't do it.
Let the Yeti tenderize them for a bit. He probably won't kill any of them. But they won't kill any of us either. And we'll look at opening up for a real fight once the military gets a little training and the dogs are more numerous. Let's take a look at the civilization. Do we have... I think the only thing we know about is that one cave. Four days travel. Looks like they don't go much more above 100. So we could theoretically send one of our guys, like Mr. I'm too injured to do anything. Send the mayor off to make contact by demanding tribute from this pile of elves on the far side of the world here. And there's a second government with a much bigger one there. They're much larger. It's about the same number of days, 5 days travel instead of 4. We have humans as a neighbor. Okay, so nobody there we're going to trade with. Couple goblin forts, which obviously aren't going to trade with us. Don't see... Well, there are humans, obviously. There we go. There's a couple of human hamlets there. We've made contact with them. We're at peace. Well, apparently we're at war with those elves. And we have no contact with this group. Okay. That's a lot of artifacts. Must be an abandoned fortress. Neat. Probably ought to send somebody to wipe them out. But we don't have equipment yet, so we're going to wait. Well, I was just kind of looking around trade-wise. I think the elves are the only population we haven't made contact with yet. The human civilization we're at peace with, so we've obviously made contact with them. Dwarves, obviously, we don't need to make contact with. That just leaves the elves. I think I whacked our staircase and forgot to remove it, or forgot to remove the designation. So I think it's going to let me build this. And if it does, we need to do so. We'll just build it right out of the rock nearby. That's fine. Need to get that replaced because otherwise we don't have a good linkage back to the fortress. I mean, they take the mine tunnels for now, but obviously once we dig down, there'd be a problem. We'd sever contact with the surface.
Chad, you can't do like that.
Really wish snowstorms cleaned up vomit. Or vomit rotted or nothing else. Almost done with the fiddly bit.
Dwarf work. It won't work.
once they're done with this, we can go back to massively just excavating each floor, one each time. And that's why you don't do two at once. Now, let's train our doctors. Didn't fall on anyone, so nobody got killed. But there we go. That's better. Alright. Once we get this excavated, we can go back to getting the pit done properly and quickly. Don't think that one could. That one can't. But this one right here could. And there's a whole row here that could cave in. But the rest of these are solid once you get... as long as I didn't mine this one right now, I'd be fine.
I can't do it. I just can't.
Need to make sure that one finishes first.
Oh, no way.
These two can't cave in. They automatically have support on the right-hand side. None of the top row can cave in because they're all attached to this outer ring or the wall if there wasn't a ring there. Come on, guys, get it done.
Why do you think I can do this?
Good news is they're keeping the Yetis clear for us.
Yes, I'll do it, but no, it won't work. Yes, I'll do it, but no, it won't work.
Oh, this will be fun. Goblins versus Cyclops. Nice. Yeah, by all means, squash all those guests who decided the best thing they could do was hang around in the snow like idiots.
Sir, I hate saying no to you, but no.
Let's see if we can't get these guys more communal. Okay, apparently the Cyclops has made friends with the dude sitting there. And coming up on the outside, it's a bard! Whoa, 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 whoa. No, you don't. What the fuck? Where you think you're fucking going? You're all gonna die now. Congratulations. Get your fucking asses back indoors. What the hell did you think you were doing?
There's a new baby. Quick, get him a bottle of ale.
Oh, there we go. He's after a barn. Maybe he'll get close enough to notice the goblins. Come on. You can do it. Who's a big cyclops? You are. You're a big cyclops. Go get him, boy. Go get him. Not a real impressive showing from the cyclops there. Bet this one is dead, obviously. That one is just really badly wounded. Left knee mangled beyond recognition, so probably can't walk. Right elbow, left ankle, left foot, right lower arm. So she's got one arm. Cool. Let's see if we can get our guys to shoot at them a little bit. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. Deadly blood is bad news. Deadly blood is bad news. Apparently he decided he didn't want to bother messing with both dogs. Just start on this guy and then go after a dwarf. Okay. That's blood everywhere. That's bad. Now watch it be something that causes necrosis for fun.
It won't work.
20 idlers got the cleaning labor. Come on, guys, clean it up.
bet you think I can do this. It won't work.
Yeah, we already knew about that one, though. Put a few extra dogs on the door. There we go. So we're removing the corpse. That's good. Hospital not getting a lot of business. Even better. Assuming it stays that way. Cloth splints, need gypsum and soap. And we are missing probably the lot. And to do that, we need to get people... Workshop. Yeah, we can build our ashery now. That's good. Okay, so let's go down here. We should have, yep, wood workshops right on the next floor down. And let's see. That is one space removed, so let's go there. And we'll see if we can build two of them, which we can't, which sucks. And we don't have another empty barrel, which also sucks.
I can't do it.
I can't do it.
What
I
are
just can't.
all our smiths doing? Like, for realsies. Forgot to tell the haulers they could operate furnaces. That was dumb. Furnace operation is one of those things that's really best done en masse. Lots and lots of people, lots and lots of furnaces. Yes, a good furnace operator will beat several of them, but you're going to need several of them to beat 20 guys all running a furnace at once.
I can't do it.
hopefully very soon I'll get to say something along the lines of, now witness the power of this fully armed and operational forge operation.
Sir, you can't do that there.
We did make stockpiles close by, didn't we? Did we not make one for ore? Maybe we didn't make one for ore, and that's the problem. Ooh. If they're hauling all the ore, that would be an issue. Whoops. Forgot I was set on 31.
No.
Let's get some wood indoors. That's usually where I like to have my wood. We can get this done in a fairly timely fashion. We can haul in a huge amount of wood all at once. Get our stockpile built up, and we can theoretically close the doors for a bit, because realistically, I think our stocks of cloth are probably good for a bit. How do we do it on silk? Yeah, we haven't even put a dent in the fucking silk yet. Okay, so what are we doing for thread? Plenty of oh yeah, there's only 2,867 thread. I think we're going to do something here. I think we're going to go back and change how we're doing this, because even if we want to, this is an inefficient path. No, we will not do that. We will do something different. And we'll clad our dwarves in nothing but the finest silks. Because frankly, we can produce a lot more of that from the thread we have than we have of plant cloth. So it's better to switch it over and let them make it out of what we've got in abundance. We're nowhere near putting a dent in the amount of cloth we're pulling out of this cabin. And we know there's a giant cave spider out there somewhere, so I'm really kind of hoping it wanders by and decides to come after the dogs. That would be fantastic, because he'll fall right in those cages. And I'm not particularly concerned about the quality of these, because gold has such an incredible value multiplier that at some point this just becomes an absurdity. And if they want to meet at the well, they can. We'll smooth it, we'll engrave it later. Going to polish our ice to a fine sheen.
I can't do it.
So I haven't heard yet, guys. What do you want me to do for our next fort? That sounds interesting.
It won't work. I can't do it.
And this Sphalerite will give us zinc bins, which are a little lighter than a lot of the others. Weight of the bins matters a little because it determines how much a dwarf can, or how fast a dwarf can move while carrying it, especially if it's full of things. Weight of a heavy bin plus, made out of lead plus weight of a bunch of metal objects inside is prodigious. reminds me, we were going to try and get our guy to shoot at their guy, see if we couldn't use up some ammo on our fortifications. Get our guys a little training for bonus
That is that
points.
mandate.
Whoops, missed one, I guess. The problem is a lot of them don't have a bow, so if I don't get one with a bow right up to the fortifications, he's not going to do anything. Oh, quit your bitching, you cave-adapted pansy. And the goblins are now moving too far away for it to matter.
It won't
So
work.
go back to your holes. Oh, silly me. We never marked these guys. Bet they get war trained now, but still. Dogs, come on. Well, apparently they've decided to go home. Well, let's see if we can tempt them back in a little.
Wow. Did you see what I did with this? I'm gonna hang on to this.
Nope, they really have given up. Okay, well, bye guys. Bye, Felicia. I wanted to play a little, but... Goal here being to put a sort of spiraling road back out to in front of the fortress, at which point we'll line the path with traps around the outside. Wagons will follow the road, no problem. That'll just give you a visual determination of where the traps are going to be. It's also nice to have a road that connects the outer edge of the map. That is not a trail of puke. That is a lake of puke. I'll have you respect our puke. Thank you very much. We don't just have puke a little bit. No, we have puke in abundance. Puke for the ages. A festival, nay, a celebration of vomit.
Sorry, sir, I can't do it.
Just about, yeah. No, we have a fair... Our dwarves rarely have to come to the surface, so most of them are probably very cave adapted at this point. There's no tree cutting since we're on a glacier. The only hunting is the Yetis that come to pay us a visit, and the only people who really need to deal with those are the military, so this probably going to be a lot of vomit on the road we're building by the time it's done. And I mean, you know, there's some Yeti vomit in there somewhere. I'm sure that a few of the, you know, various combats have resulted in some vomit along the way. It'd be nice if the snow kind of covered it. Unfortunately, if we want to get rid of it, we literally have to go around to it all and build a dirt road over it, since that doesn't require any resources, and then just let it go. Eventually the road will disappear, and once it does, the snow will cover it up, and you're back to normal. But
Wow. Did you see what
it's
I did
not
with
worth
this?
the effort.
I'm gonna hang on to this.
If my dwarves can't deal with the vomit, well, what are you going to do? See, I mean, we've already got two that have already fallen back to, you know, after we hacked them to the maximum stress, there are already two that have fallen back, and this isn't exactly a poor fortress. We've got everything pretty well smooth that the dwarves are using. It's not a transition area.
Springtime has come.
Not every bedroom is smoothed and engraved yet, I guess. So we can improve, but pretty close to the ceiling already. Count the bedrooms. I'm pretty sure this is 60 because each one of these is 12. There's 5 pods. That's 60. Each one of these is 10. There's, you know, 2 in a pod is 20, 20, 40. That gets you 100 in the top group. There's 10 in each one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is 160 beds. Pop cap of 150, remember. So unless we get a abundance of babies that grow up, which will happen eventually over time, which will eventually rise to 200, but having the extra 10 there should take care of it for quite a while. It's not until they grow up that they actually need a bedroom, and at that point I can always expand those 2 pods, down there on the bottom left maybe, or these pods I'm now making the rooms in, and get the extra space that way. I mean, we only have to go about 10 extra room or 50 extra rooms, excuse me. Okay. And that should be enough beds for everybody in the fortress. And a room to boot. So everybody now has a bedroom. Excuse me, I guess I thought I had beds up here and I don't. We don't have enough for everybody yet. Should have plenty of wood. We're going to turn off web collection for a bit. Let the webs build up a bit. Got probably still like almost 3,000 thread, I'm thinking at this point, for silk. Yeah, we're still almost 3,000, and we're building up our plant cloth, which is good.
No, 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 no. No!
butchered. I wish there was a way to say, guys, if you're not going to butcher it, get rid of it. Kingdom for semi-intelligent designation. There's not a way to specify dump unbutcherable. Okay. Get that shit dumped, guys. Come on, there's 300 of you. Okay, not really. There's only 151 of you. Come on, really? Every single dwarf in the fortress has dumping duty. This must be coming from the far side of the moon. I think we're going to turn those stockpiles off for a moment. Or rather, I'm going to disable most of the things we allow. Let's see if I can get it down to just the butcherable Yeti corpses.
I can't do it.
Because we are rolling in the meat because of those dudes. Those of you who are looking to develop a specialist architect in order to try and, masterwork everything in the fortress or the like, will need to look at roads and supports as being things you can build in quantity that your architect will have to touch. They can be easily disassembled without having anybody get worked about it, without interrupting any labor. That can also be functional. Supports can be built in large rows. You just build row after row after row of supports. Even if it's not supporting anything, your architect has to touch each and every one of them. It's an extra job. Paved roads likewise, one by one roads everywhere. Set one guy for architect, watch him become legendary. Okay, got 2 squads starting to spar now. Or no, 3 squads because there's stabbers. So there's a couple different few different squads now are up to enough to spar. Okay, good. This is a good spot for the archery range. Actually, let's see if we can get this to where we can get some of it engraved. Yeah, that'll work. just barely misses the noble rooms on the floor below it. So that's very fortuitous because that was not planned at all. There's nothing in this area, and we just we'll dig down next to it right here. We won't touch the wall. So that's awesome. Okay, we'll build archery targets at the top and allow our guys to shoot south to north. We are on a glacier. Everything on the surface is ice. There is no surface wood. There are no surface plants. There is no surface crop growing. Actually, I kind of wonder about that. Shouldn't you be able to? Probably not, but shouldn't you be able to dig down through the ice into the rock layer, irrigate it, in theory, build farm plots, plant surface, floor, sealing it over, build farm plots, build surface crops. You're not outdoors, so it's not exposed. You'd think you'd be able to build crops that way. No trees. We harvest the cavern for trees. We're doing good. Got no problem with wood. Some wood we got from the caravan. Obviously, we do, expect to do trade. The wood isn't going to buy all our stuff. Well, magma's way down low. We don't have sand, which means in order to build it, I'd have to make a bunch of magma-safe parts. Theoretically doable. I'm pretty sure we've got several magma-safe stones on site. Theoretically doable. I generally try to avoid pumping magma if I can avoid it. But yeah, you can irrigate it by digging out from underneath the ice and basically melting it so that it turns liquid and runs into a drain, for example. You can probably do it by excavating the ice, dropping it into a hole, and then digging off any excess and then sealing it over. And at that point, the ice that's in the fort would melt, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure if it does in Glacier or not, because I know you're not allowed. Obviously, there's no surface crops natively. Theoretically, we should be able to import them, process them, or whatever, eat them to get seeds. And then immediately turn around and plant them, I would think, as long as we're doing it not in a glacier environment. But my guess is it's being rigged up such that it's simple on-off switch. It's binary whether it's surface crops or not. He's just disabled surface crops from growing in this entire world square, if you will, because it's all glacier. In other words, even indoors, it won't count as farmable, is my suspicion. Okay, it's worth a shot. Why not? Okay, so up to the surface. Let's see where we can do that without intersecting one of our existing, earthworks here. It's gonna have to be a long way out because of the bedroom layer, it looks like, but that stone layer is doable. So we could do it here. Okay, yeah, we can still get a 5x5 test plot in if we do it right. And if it turns out it works, we can always excavate more of the ceiling and drop more stuff in. Oh yes, believe me, I love DF Hack. DF Hack is one step, one small tiny step below indispensable for me to play Dwarf Fortress at all. Dwarf Therapist I don't even play without. Dwarf Hack I have to wait because they got to update it. Obviously, it's a lot more intensive than just updating memory layouts usually. Or rather, it's more memory layouts to update, I guess would be more accurate a way to say it. If this works, we may lose this tunnel because at that point I don't really care about the tunnel so much as I care about getting surface crops, because if we can do things like rope reed, for example, I think is paperable. I have to look to see which plants exactly are paperable. I haven't checked the wiki recently.
Sir, you can't do that there.
No, 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 no. No!
Oh, it's just cloth plants. Okay, good. I think we've got slurry in our do over and over again here. Yep, mash plant slurry. Good. And then press slurry into paper sheets. Good. There we go. That ought to get them off and running on the paper because we need to put some
Yes. I see it all now.
stuff in the, oh, was that seeds? What kind of seeds are we hanging on to here? Yeah, we need bags bad.
I claim this workshop in the name of invention! baby's been born.
Dig, my little minions, dig! Dig faster.
Why do you think I can do this?
Okay, mood is off and running. I ain't scared. Like I said, we'll get to 200 eventually on babies alone, if nothing else, but this rig will handle 200. It'll slow down quite a bit, but it should handle 200, even with pets and animals and invasions, I think. Don't think we'll hit 0. Might get real slow. Don't think we'll ever hit 0.
Yes, I'll do it, but no, it won't work.
Now I have the archers doing these extra skills, including a couple extra mutable skills, specifically because tanning and leatherworking are used to make their quivers. This makes these guys self-sufficient. Theoretically, I can make them into hunters as well. Of course, the only thing to hunt here is Yeti.
No. I said no.
Sorry guys, bouncing off the wiki in the background for one thing here real quick. Okay, so we can do it another way for this, which gold is not a weaponable metal. So in order to pull the same stunt that we're doing with gold, with axe blades, we would basically have to do this. Gold coins melted down in stacks of 500 give you 110% return, so slightly more than you put in. Every time you do it, 500 coins, you get enough. Every 10th time you do, you get enough to make the 11th batch for free, basically. So over time, this will produce more gold, and it will build up our furnace operators as well. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like at the moment there's anything else that you can really do this with. Now, for those of you who want to macro it, it is possible to split the coins into single coin stacks, and thereby, if you melt individual coins, the return on that is 5,000%. Not a joke. You get way more back. That is by far the most effective return on investment you can get from any item. And you can make coins out of any metal, but gold can't be made into weapons, so the only thing we can really do with it is coins. Toys are for the kids, because I don't think we've made toys for them yet. They're all playing make-believe instead of actually, having something to play with.
Sorry, I can't do it, sir. No. I said no.
We'll melt down the copper leggings. I don't use them. We'll use greaves. Realistically, it should be possible to wear chouses, male chouses, under plate as well. Huh. That's interesting. Tony has greaves, but no male pants, and I don't understand why. You can make male shirts, you can make male pants. That's ought to be something we look into. I ought to look into see if I can hack it into the raws. Not tonight, obviously, but at some point. Seems like it should be fairly straightforward.
Sir, you can't do that there.
there. Looky there. What's this under our pick? That's hematite. Oh, I'm now going to pay much more attention to the... Oh, I didn't notice it. See, we found one right there and I didn't even see it. Some here, too. I didn't notice it earlier. So, assuming it's through all the layers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-ish. That could be a good chunk of iron in this set of floors. So we're going to have to look around here for iron, because now we can step up our armor production. Iron is much better, and since we have the materials, in this particular case, we will skip iron and go directly to steel. Now, of course, there is one downside. Our steel production is limited by our ability to get charcoal or coal, because without a refined fuel, you can't make steel. Even with a magma forge, iron alone doesn't make steel. You've got to have carbon. That means coke or charcoal. We don't have coal on site, so there's nothing we're going to do with that. There's nothing we're going to do that will get us around that problem. That means cave harvesting for our wood and using some of that to produce charcoal to allow us to make a small quantity of steel and kind of trickle it in. Maybe that's what he's got in mind when he says leggings. I'm not really thinking of... Chouses would cover the feet too. I'm not sure leggings do. Because chouses are actually like shoes with a leg up step. So chain leggings are close. Because I don't think chain leggings have a an up step to get to the foot. Yeah, so they're close to what I have in mind, but I mean, you can look at, as an example, if you want a fairly realistic simulation of them, realistic-ish, I guess, you can look at how they're modeled in, say, Kingdom Come. I don't know too many other games that spend as much detail in modeling different types of armor, but the game includes male chouses as basically an underlayer that you would wear. So you'd wear a thin pair of pants, then over the top of, like a gambazon for your legs, basically. You'd wear mail over that, and then you'd have a layer of plate greaves over the top of that. Now that's heavy armor. But if you're plate armored military, that's what you're carrying. And it ain't light.
Oh, no way. There's a new baby. Quick, get him a bottle of ale.
and now the pit is in for the long plunge all the way to the bottom without stopping. Nothing in the way now. Let's see what our miners are up to. Probably still working on that iron vein. That's good stuff. All right. I must be blind. I am missing the nice. Could have swore we had. Huh. Maybe we've used it all up and haven't made blocks out of it. Might be easier to hack in the leg upstep on the leggings rather than hacking in a new item for chain chouses. I'd have to double check the size and permit. I think you can layer leggings under greaves without an issue. If I could do loincloth greaves, or loincloth leggings greaves, and have the leggings be proper foot coverings, then that's where I'd want to be. And I don't mind if that applies to every civilization. That's fine. Yeah, but they are cloth only. So I'd have to look into how you'd make them. You'd have to add a reaction in to make them in the forge.
Yes, I'll do it, but no, it won't work.
So I'm thinking male chouses is probably a harder or a longer, more roundabout, maybe more proper, but longer roundabout hack to get into the game than it is just taking the leggings and throwing an upstep on them to get the cover the foot. I mean, theoretically, you could make male shirts cover the hand if you really wanted to, right? I mean, that's doable. It's like just adding one upstep and just saying upstep max, basically. That's good sparring. Good. Well, our dwarves can. I added chalices and loincloths to the available items.
Sorry, sir, I can't do it.
Realistically, nobody wears plate with nothing under it. That's crazy. The pinching would be just insane. You'd rub, you'd chafe, you'd be a mess.
I can't do it. I just can't. Sir, you can't do that there.
So yeah, realistically, I guess I should. I should go back and add, just as since we don't have them, I guess we should do that. So let's go back and add to our uniforms on the legs section. Let's go back and add leggings, and we'll make those out of iron later. And since we have it available for those things that can be made out of it, we will specify steel. Since we are on partial match, our guys will wear anything that matches the category, but will prefer the material we tell them. So if we give them I'm leaving that as here they can use copper crossbows. That's fine with me. Copper is dense and heavy, and not good for hammering. So is iron, but we're going to be using the iron to make steel, so I'm not planning to leave any iron back to make iron crossbows. We can just have them using the copper crossbows we've got. That'll work. So let's see here. Make these out of steel too. And unfortunately, since these are different uniforms, there's no real good way to just simply upgrade all valuable materials to the same material. You can't simply say, I want everything that can be made out of steel in one pass. You have to go through and specify each item. Which is doable, of course, but could have, I suppose, specified this all along. There's a lot of sites, if you embark, you don't have access to floods, so it's kind of a habit for me to set up for iron. But I suppose if one were to take the long view, it also allows you guys to get a second look at how the equipment system works. But realistically, I don't figure you guys need it the second look, so I'm not sure there's a whole lot of advantage there. Once you've seen it once, it's not exactly rocket surgery. Should be using so wait one more thing. Get their access. Yes. There we go. Yeah. Now they won't go up to adamantine by default. They will not upgrade beyond what you tell them to use. So if you want somebody to have that, you're going to either need to assign it directly or set the squad to use that specifically. So if you want to make adamantine axes, for example, you have to tell them to use that. If they're set to steel, they won't upgrade to the better axe. Now they will wear copper if no steel is available. They will wear iron if no steel is available. They will wear adamantine if no steel is available, but they won't. Once steel becomes available, they will put down their adamantine axe and go get a steel axe. So the pig... Oh, and we need to smelt iron bars too, don't we? Okay, guys, it is coming up on 11 o'clock, and I'm going to call it a night. I'll be back tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern to continue the stream. Now, as always, the entire purpose of this is to try and raise money for the Extra Life charity drive. We are raising money for sick kids who need it. None of the money that's raised goes to me. It's all specifically for them. And if you'd like to donate, you can find a link to do so directly below the stream.
It won't work.
That's what the running counter you've seen on the channel is this entire time. If you can, please take a moment and donate. It helps people like me be here to do the things that we do. 40 years ago, I was a patient at Riley Hospital here where I live. And before I go, does anybody have any questions? Suggestions for the next fort? Things they'd like to see for this one?
Sorry, I can't do it, sir. No, I can't do it.
Alright, guys.